Another dark log from the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which is me. Well, here it is, February 10th, 2026, on a Tuesday. Today's a scheduled day for wound care. And for the past 3 or 4 days, feeling something funny. I've been waiting for this day so they can take a look, see if the damn thing's been bursted again. If it has, I just hope I don't have to go for another debridement again. I have these little sharp scalpels that they cut away dead skin. I hope I'm not going to be dealing with that. If they want to put me back on antibiotics, that's alright, I'll deal with the antibiotics. I've slept a little bit, not much. An hour and a half or 2 hours this time. Felt a little better. But it's early in the morning, and it's about, it's 2:40 in the morning. Am I nervous about today? Yeah. What am I fearing? I don't go back into the hospital and maybe be an inpatient. I know they got to do an MRI on my foot, see if the infection's gone into the bone yet. I haven't felt that much pain coming out of the foot, that's the problem. Usually that would be an indication, wouldn't it? But I've had little tremors in my foot, both feet. Little spots of it, so we'll see what happens. It's not the podiatry, but it's just wound care, but it'll be something to talk to doctors and hospitals about. I'm not looking forward to this. Trying to keep track of some of the Olympics, particularly Lindsey Vonn. So she's out of competing, according to her father. And when they posted about how many times she's gotten injured, that girl just does not know when to quit. Or maybe she's running to the last one. Bit of a mistake, she said she made. But it did do some damage. She has to have operations for it. But she's coming out of it alive and still intact, I hope. But she was showing people, even an old fart can go through there and struggle through the Olympics. The hardest part about being an athlete, I would think, since I'm not one, is knowing when the limits are reached, and then do you reach beyond them or not. But then how far can you go beyond, and is it going to be reaching success? But what would have been considered success? Just one more try? I think at this point, I think she would try to go for coaching the youth, to go beyond what she's done, and to give them pointers of what limits they can reach, but also realizing sometimes there's cost in reaching these limits. She's almost got to that point. I think the father's afraid that one last try is going to take her out entirely, and she may not be able to make it back. He's afraid of losing her daughter. I think that would break all of our hearts if she, not just being crippled from the whole experience, but dead. But even there had been deaths in Olympics, hadn't there? Some of the stuff that we had recorded over the past century. One little miscalculation and then it's all over. The Olympics wasn't made for tiptoeing through the tulips, basically. This is basically assaulting the problem with your hands and feet. and seeing if you can crawl or skate through it or go through the human limits or beyond human limits to get that coveted title. There are some things that are important to the individual who strives. The others may not know it. It takes a lot of courage to go just where they can and can't go to. I wish I could hear and do the same thing about what I'm going through right now. It's been terrifying enough as it is. For all my life, I've been staying away from the medical establishment because I feared these guys are going to turn me into a damn pincushion. They're always going to live the rest of my life in a hospital bed. I'd seen my family do that. How my aunt was growing up with heart conditions and had a pacemaker installed, and on some occasions had issues with it. I had a grandmother who just lived life as she could. Type 2 kicked in and turned her into a bed case. Half her body not there, half her brain not there. Struggling with memory, struggling with bodily functions. I know, because I was there both times for Aunt May and Grandma. I didn't realize Ma was going to be on the hit parade next. She was also type 2, but, she kept it. She didn't realize it. She didn't live life in certain terms. Yeah, she quit smoking because the doctor said, if you come back in here, Marianne, you're going to die. You got to quit smoking. And she quit for about 20 years or so. But it also took damage on her lungs. For the last several years of her life, she was hooked up to a portable concentrator and portable tanks to breathe. Before that came and took her out, she was still able to get around, move around, and laugh and enjoy life. But I guess even her brain and her body took toll somewhere. A lot of people she knew and loved took her out emotionally. I got my own to deal with right now. I guess she must be obeyed. Keeps me up at night. I don't get sleep very much. I'm lucky enough I get about 2 or 3 hours a night. Maybe sometimes during the daytime I'll get another hour or two. The body can only about deal with 6 to 8 hours of sleep, continuous, to keep the brain functioning. I'm surprised my brain's barely functioning right now as it is. And I've seen how heart attacks can affect family. I've seen how strokes affect the family, how blood pressure affects it, how hypertension affects it. All my family all my family that's still alive, they're going through it. And the ones that are gone struggled. My brother didn't like needles, but he took medications for it. Not for the needles, but for his own type. I suppose it's my turn now. I was supposed to have been taking years ago hypertension medications, but I didn't. Really didn't watch the salt intake, but I had to watch my body's signs for it. Realized if I was going to take much salt, I was going to take much potassium too. Hopefully to balance the damn thing out and keep drinking water. Hoping I wasn't going to flood out the heart or the rest of the body, for that matter. I didn't count on getting a diabetic ulcer on the foot. And I realized both feet were almost going to be giving me the same alert, but the right erupted over the past couple of months, since December. Living in a boot Well, there may be a small price, but there may be something larger coming down the street. What scares the hell out of me is what happens if there was infection going into the bone, despite the fact I had taken about a month's worth of antibiotics shoved down my throat. A daily regime to keep the stuff at bay. And now today I gotta deal with that reality. It scares me. I'd seen people who had gone through an ulcer, had it dug out, on antibiotics, but then start to lose limbs, then lose a life. Is that my fate, I wonder? Basically confronting something that I'd rather not deal with. And the other thing that gets me is I'm dealing with, maybe it was too little too late, kind of a battle here. During the roach war. Living in an apartment that's not handicap accessible, but I manage. I'm dealing with a stove. I've been cooking for that most of my life, most of my time in this place. That's roach infested, but it still works. Refrigerator had to be switched twice. Once actually. So, deal with that. As for food, well, it's always been out in the open. Just in containers, bags, and stuff to keep it away from the bugs. Cabinets already disintegrated and destroyed, I guess. The damn roaches all over the place. Electrical's going crazy. You can't get anything usable in the fridge, in the kitchen. People deal with their modern conveniences, don't even realize that in a second they're gone. A coffee pot that one would use for many years would now become extinct because of bugs infiltrating all throughout it. What was a nice, enjoyable cup of coffee out of a coffee maker, I live now with crystals and hot water. A microwave, one of the most essential cooking tools for an individual living on his own in an apartment or wherever. Or you could heat up a cup of coffee, or reheat food, or cook food. Because of the heat that the microwave generates, it's a draw for the roaches. I managed to use the cooking plates for serving platters or something. Everything else gets to be tossed. Toaster oven. There's something. There's something. May cook toast or sandwiches in there. Nope. That's gone. That's gone. Modern conveniences that I used to cook with, even slow cooker, even got nailed. A slow cooker would have cooked a meal about 4 to 6 hours if I prepared it properly. An oven, a working stove, burners that worked, and an oven that heated without it being used as a damn den for the damn roaches. Cooking food, roasting meat, casseroles, enchiladas. The things I took for granted a long time ago, now no longer. One burner works, so I boil, I steam, I fry. If I'm lucky enough, maybe have a skillet ready for pancakes or toasted items. At least it's still working for now. I lived in this place for nearly a decade, didn't even realize it. Kept Christmas tree up lights about 2 years straight. Backup battery powered lights just in case. In case the electrical system goes out, I had backups ready to go just for temporary purposes. Comes in handy. The ability to get clothes washed. Understanding how a screwed up system works in order to get clothing washed. I hadn't washed anything. Well, I get fresh clothes when I get them from Amazon. Basics. A more fresh supply of socks and shorts and t-shirts. Maybe a special t-shirt, maybe someone. Fresh change of clothing. Even sweatpants instead of Levi's or dark pants to wear. Sweatpants easier to wear these days. Some places may not like it as much. Not professional. I don't care. I need them. Now I got to convince people that I can't do jury duty for next week because of my condition. We'll see what happens today and how it's going to be affecting the rest of this week. And to top things off, I got school online to deal with. I ended up Thursday night, or actually up until 11 o'clock for Friday. This Friday, I got an essay to do, a 3-pager. Any other time, it would have been a no-brainer. But this time, things taking my attention left and right that I have to struggle just as hard. And I ain't dropping the class because I'm not lowering my expectations or anything else for that matter. I got to struggle through this damn thing. So struggling besides my own health, whether or not I'm going to be staying in a hospital or not, or maybe at home, maybe this home, or maybe I'm going to get evicted out of here. We'll say temporarily placement. The problem is with the little tiny roaches, two bigger roaches, they like to hide. They like to hide in places. They like to hide among suitcases and bags, other places that one may carry the little bastards through. Hide in cabinets, hide in drawers. Well, if I am going to get relocated out of here permanently, let the sons of bitches have this place. It's a bitch just to get things prepared for bug bombing if it's going to happen. If it's going to happen. Couldn't afford it, and besides, I got no place to go for a bug bombing. Besides, people will be afraid I'll be carrying the bugs with me anyway. Yeah. Reality check right there. So, that being said, guys, I don't know what's happening today. Except wound care. We'll see what happens. If I need to go for an MRI, they'll send me over to the hospital. They just have an x-ray? Well, they got x-ray machines. I was hoping maybe they'd have an MRI. And if they did, maybe I can use it. CAT scan wouldn't work, but I'd do an MRI if possible. If they actually had one available. If they do, then I'm in luck. But if I'm not, well, we'll see how it goes today. I'm trying to stay the hell away from politics, as screwed up as it is, and how things seem to be a little bit more on the hopeless edge. We'll see how it works. Since my bum is going back to sleep again, maybe I'll get another hour worth if I'm lucky.